All right, so I have here an estimated fee breakdown for an FHA mortgage, and I'm going to kind of take you through it just so you have an idea on what to expect when it comes to mortgage loan fees. In this particular case, it's on an FHA mortgage. So I did this on a $550,000 purchase price at a rate of 5.875%. Down payment on FHA loans are typically 3.5%. So 19,250 down payment on this guy at a $550,000 purchase price. So first we're going to look at loan costs. So loan costs are what it costs the lender to actually do the loan, the lender and the broker to actually do the loan for you. So you've got your underwriting fee, typically around $1,200. It's going to fluctuate slightly depending on the lender that we select, but it's pretty close, around 1,200. You got your credit report fee. This number will also fluctuate depending on how many people are on the loan, how many people do we have to pull credit for, how many times do we have to pull your credit. Flood cert fee, tax certification or tax service fee, excuse me. Those are a couple smaller fees that we pay to third-party vendors to monitor and check those items. And then we have your appraisal fee. Now, this one I really want to highlight, this 850 here, because I can't highlight it because this is the one fee that we do collect up front. So at close or right when you go under contract, you have your inspection that you, the borrower, or you, the buyer, does, and then the lender does their appraisal. We collect the appraisal fee up front, and that is a non-refundable fee because the appraiser has to be paid for their work either way. And if for some reason you were to decide not to move forward with the purchase after that appraisal happens, you wouldn't get that 850 back or whatever it ends up costing. It could be a little more, a little less than 850. And this, I should point out, is a primary residence because it's an FHA loan. If you're buying an investment property, that appraisal fee is going to be higher. Processing fee is going to run you about $995, right around $1,000 for processing. And then here is another one that I want to highlight, this $99,288 mortgage insurance premium fee. So this is upfront mortgage insurance and is particular to an FHA mortgage. It is also typically financed, so it's added to your loan amount and not something that would be expected to be paid at close. And I'll show you later where it gets subtracted out of your final closing costs. Okay, title and escrow fees, these title charges. I used some generic numbers from a local title company. However, what those numbers actually are not lender dependent. They're going to be dependent on whatever title and escrow company the seller has chosen for the transaction. You're looking at roughly $1,800 for the closing fee, looking at right around $1,000 for the lender's title insurance. And this is particular to the loan amount. So at a different loan amount, those numbers, different loan amount, different purchase price, those numbers will change. And then a $200 mobile notary fee. So that is if the notary has to come to you. And that is an estimate. Not all title and escrow companies charge for a mobile notary, but if you want to avoid that fee, if it is one that is charged, then you can always sign at the title and escrow office. Recording fees. This is what it costs to record the purchase with the county, to record that you are the new owner of the home with the county. Prepaid items. So you've got your prepaid interest. On a mortgage loan, interest is paid in arrears, which means when you're making your May payment, you're paying April's interest. So if you are closing a loan in May, you're not going to have your first payment until July. So that means if you're closing your loan at the beginning of May, you're going to be paying more upfront interest than if you close at the end of May. But if you close at the end of May, your first payment is going to be sooner. So it's really a wash. You're either paying the interest at close or you're paying it in your first payment. And so when I do these estimates, if I don't have any sort of inkling about when the loan is going to close, I always estimate about 15, 16 days in prepaid interest. Your homeowner's insurance premium. So the annual premium is paid at close. the actual cost for this is going to depend on the property, the company, and the amount of coverage that you choose to get. You get to choose the company. All right. Initial payment, escrow payment at close. So this is what we are starting in your escrow account to make sure that we have enough money to pay the bills, homeowners insurance, and property taxes once they become due. So I'm estimating 6 months for property taxes here, but ultimately what that number is, how many months we'll need to collect, is going to be depend on when in the year your loan closes and when those taxes are due. Um, Insurance, we're normally collecting just a cushion there, um, because we've already collected the full premium or paid the full premium at close. Okay, so estimated closing cost subtotal is $21,590. That number is up here again, and then plus you've got your down payment. But then you are credited back the 9,288 because that 9,288 is included in this $21,000 number. So that is subtracted out with a total cash due from the borrower at 31,552. Um, so the two things at this point that are not included in this $31,000 number, um, is going to be earnest money. So once you make that earnest money payment, that will be subtracted out. Um, and then any seller concessions. So if you negotiate that the seller pay your closing costs, then that will be, oh, look at that little guest appearance from Emerson. Who is um, I'm making a video, buddy. Boo. Okay. All right. So go out and I'll finish. Okay, so that $30,552 doesn't include any sort of seller concessions that you may negotiate. Okay, so there you have it, the fee breakdown. Okay, let me just stop recording. Whoa, I'm still on my chair. Okay, so I wanted to hop back in here and just show you what it would look like if you got that hypothetical seller credit and if you did also put down some earnest money. Um, and with I wanted to hop back in here and show you what it would look like with earnest money and seller concessions. So here you have, like we just went over, your $21,590 in closing costs and your down payment of $19,250. Let's say you are working with a stellar agent and you have found a property that maybe you have some negotiating power with, and you are able to negotiate $10,000 in seller concessions for yourself. And let's also say that you put down $10,000 in earnest money. So I want to be clear with the earnest money. That is still money you paid. So you're just paying it at the beginning. So once you go under contract, within a few days, you have to send your earnest money to the title and escrow company. It shows the seller that you are serious about purchasing their property, and gets you have some skin in the game now. And but it does come off at the end. So you have your 21,000, you have your 19,000, but then here you have your credits back. So this is the $10,000 from the seller taken off, then your $10,000 that you already paid taken off, and then that financed amount, that $9,288. So then your total cash that you would have to bring to the table at the end is around $11,552. If you consider that you did pay the earnest money, your total contribution is $21,552.85. So I hope that's helpful. If you want to do a deeper dive into your personal situation and your personal numbers, I'd love to chat. So give me a call, shoot me a DM, or comment estimate below, and I will reach out to you and set something up. Otherwise, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day and a lovely week ahead.